In the darker shadows of our human history, one chilling phenomenon has endured, that of ghosts and apparitions. These spectral entities, often born from ancient beliefs and ancient fears, have become an entrenched part of our cultures. Our time on this earth is but a fleeting existence. Perhaps that is why the tales of specters and ghosts both fascinate and terrify us. They, unlike us, doomed to an eternity of incorporeal existence, reliving endlessly the trauma of their last few minutes of life. In many of us, there is a fear of the dark and a reverence for the ancient. When that reverence turns malevolent, however, our instinct is to run and hide. But when the entity that stalks you isn't hindered by the physical, where can you truly run? In this episode, we will examine some of the many spirits, both sorrowful and wicked, said to haunt the various regions of our world. From the enigmatic specters of Europe's dark ages to the vengeful spirits of Asia's ancient civilizations, and from the ancestral guardians of indigenous North American cultures to the restless souls haunting our modern urban legends, the world has long been haunted by the unknown. We begin in the dark ages of Europe, when times were uncertain and people believed in the supernatural. Today, we have at our fingertips the aggregate of human knowledge, but our ancestors' day-to-day existence intertwined with the supernatural as so much was still unknown. The ancient Greeks told stories of Keres, and the Romans spoke of lemurs. These were spirits of those who died violently or tragically, and were said to be drawn to pools of human suffering and torment like battlefields, famines, and plagues. While they did not have the power to kill, they were able to wait until the exact moment of death and then feast upon the dead. The ancient Greek poem Shield of Heracles describes them as black dooms, with gnashing white teeth and grim eyes. They were fierce and terrifying, and would fight each other over dying men, longing to drink their blood. As soon as they caught a man who had fallen, they would clasp him in their great claws and drag his soul to Hades and chilly Tartarus, throwing the corpse behind them when they were done feasting and returning to the battle to repeat the process in a never-ending cycle. As the Middle Ages arrived, Christianity became a powerful influence. People began to think about purgatory, where souls waited for redemption through prayer from the living. Ghostly apparitions were seen as signs of unresolved issues. During the Renaissance, ghost stories would make a comeback. Shakespeare's plays like Hamlet and Macbeth had famous ghostly characters thrilling audiences. The Victorian era was a time when people were fascinated by ghosts as well. Stories of the dead rising from their graves to haunt the living captured people's imaginations. Famous authors like Charles Dickens and M.R. James would go on to write eerie tales. In Hinduism, they talk about pretas, or hungry ghosts. These souls believed to be tormented by unfulfilled desires, wandering the earthly realm in search of redemption while suffering from an extreme level of hunger and thirst. A hunger never to be satiated. They were said to have been corrupt, compulsive, deceitful, jealous, or greedy people during their lifetimes. And part of their doom and suffering is in how they see the material world. Where we might see a beautiful river, they would see a stream of writhing pus and filth. In Japan, you'll hear tales of vengeful spirits like Yurei and Onryo, which have become an integral part of the country's cultural heritage. The Yurei are typically portrayed as female and legless, drifting aimlessly through the air, unless trying to scare a human. By contrast, the Onryo are vengeful spirits that are said to be able to do direct harm to us in the physical material world. Next, we take a look at the ancient lands of North America, where the spirits of indigenous cultures have played a significant role for generations. In North America, various native tribes have their unique spiritual beliefs. These tribes have their own cosmologies and mythologies, but they share a common respect for spirits. Trickster figures like Coyote and Raven blur the lines between the human and the supernatural. Shamanism is a prominent spiritual practice. Shamans, highly respected for their ability to communicate with spirits. Vision quests, which involve fasting and meditation, said to provide individuals with opportunities to encounter spiritual entities and receive their guidance or their warnings. Take the Algonquin of North America. They speak of an entity known as the Wendigo, an evil spirit with human-like characteristics which can possess us. The possession said to cause insatiable hunger and the desire to feast on other humans. But as we reach the modern era, our journey through the mystical realms of ghost lore is far from over. In the age of technology and innovation, tales of spirits, hauntings, and malevolent entities continues to captivate us. Fueled now by literature, cinema, and urban legends. Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House in 1959 is a masterpiece of haunting fiction, and it remains a cornerstone of modern ghost lore. The story of Hill House's sinister haunting has inspired countless adaptations and copycats, cementing its place in the pantheon of horror literature. For example, works like Richard Matheson's Hell House from 1971, a novel that explores the malevolent forces lurking also within a haunted mansion. His work would help shape the modern ghost story, and it would reintroduce readers to the horrors of the supernatural. Susan Hill's The Woman in Black from 1983, a chilling tale set in a desolate English town. This novel has likewise terrified readers for decades. Its eerie atmosphere and spectral apparitions continue to haunt. Stephen King's The Shining from 1977, an iconic tale of a haunted hotel and a family's descent into madness. Movies like The Sixth Sense, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, is a film that explores themes of communication with the dead, and again, the blurred line between us and them. Its iconic twist ending has become legendary in the realm of ghostly cinema. Back in 1982, the classic horror film Poltergeist, directed by Tobe Hooper, would explore the malevolent side of the supernatural, the tale of a suburban family plagued by poltergeists who can interact with the physical world, injure and maim us directly. Urban legends in the age of the internet and contemporary ghost stories have taken on new life. Creepypasta, online forums, and viral tales have become much like modern folklore, with stories like Slender Man and the Russian sleep experiment chilling audiences to the bone. Whether it is the whispered legends of old or the viral tales of today, the fascination with ghosts and apparitions continues. Our enduring curiosity and our enduring quest to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of our understanding. An attempt to answer one of the biggest questions of all: what happens to the newly departed, particularly those who did not leave on their own terms? These are questions to ponder as we bid farewell to this spectral journey. We're left with a profound appreciation for the enduring power of the ghostly and the ethereal.